Wow, that was strange. YouTube actually sent me a message. Live streaming is not available. Never seen that before. It said cancel the stream or try again. And instead I just hit go. I hit start. And it started. So it looks like it started despite saying that it was not available. So are you here? Very strange. Excellent connection. But everything on YouTube is spinning. Well, I'm going to assume it's working. I'm going to get my coffee and all that, and maybe in a minute it'll be back to doing what it's supposed to be doing. Maybe. Yeah, so it says excellent condition, yet I see the video spinning. So if you can, say hello in the chat. Let me know you're live. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yeah, all right. Looks like you guys are here. That is weird, the thing that YouTube is doing. Haven't seen that error before. All right. Cool. So we are live. Number 5 alive. Open, open, gloopin'. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Forex.Today YouTube channel, a community of over 12,000 foreign exchange traders around the world that get together 8 o'clock in the morning to align their satellites. Maybe I can change it this way. Holier than thou. No. Oh, don't do that. You are holier than thou. You are not. I was trying to. All right, forget it. Maybe we'll just do it old school. It won't do anything. So anyways, get out of my face. All right, cool. So a community of foreign exchange traders that get together 8 o'clock in the morning New York time to realign their satellites, focus their energy, their positive energy into achieving a goal. This is your opportunity to sharpen your saw, collaborate with your contemporaries. But if you're just a scumbag spammer, disappear. We're not interested in your nonsense. If you're full of hate and rage, check your negativity at the door. Open your heart to peace and love and pips. Thank you very much to Traders Way for making this happen. Visit tradersway.com, open a demo account. This is the way you say thank you. So they want you to succeed. They're a broker. How do brokers make money? You place trades with real money. They take a spread or a small fee, depending on if you have an ECN account or a regular trading account. So what kind of traders are there in the world? Well, most retail traders pop a few $100 into an account, blow it out in a week or two and disappear, and that's that. Traders Way instead says, you know what? There's a symbiotic relationship. We would actually make more money as a business if our clients stuck around for not just a few days or a few weeks, but what if they stuck around for years because they were successful? And then if they were successful, they would grow their trading account, and over time their lot size would get bigger. And it would be more stable revenue, and it would be growing accounts. They're like, oh my God, we need educated traders that can actually maybe survive this thing and then maybe actually make this their living. And that's where I come in. If I can help you be a success, I'd like to try. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. They're in the long game, and your success is critically important to Traders Way success. So they're investing into your success now, hoping that you become a profitable trader that can trade with them for many years. So therefore, pay it back now. Visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, download MT4, put down some practice trades, practice with me every day here in the Forex.Today YouTube webinars, and then develop those skills. Things like patience, things like discipline, things like doing the hard work in creating trade plans for tomorrow, for next week, and next month. I'll teach you how to do that. Daniel's on the videos, huh? Daniel's like, thank you so much for the discount, Wayne. Cool. By the way, the link is in the description below if you still want access to that. All right, so ask questions, get involved, treat each other with dignity and respect. My name is Wayne. Let's get on with it. All right. So yesterday, in between my two Harvard classes, I met with the live trading group, my swing traders, my day traders, and we set up day trades, and it was risk on. Okay? Risk on. Risk on. Now, on says, are we still risk off? I don't know, are you? And what time frame are you talking about? Okay? And by the way, thank you, Crypto, for the feedback. We'll get it working. We'll get it juicy. All right, so one of the things we had yesterday was risk off. So we were way up here, and this was the trade plan for today on XAU. What's up, Hope? What do you think of that, guys? Does that make sense? Yeah. Crypto wouldn't only be you, but, or is it only you? Let me ask you something very quickly. For those just signed up for the beta site, the COVID-19 site for videos that were 80% off, are some of the videos not playing? See, some of the videos are hosted on one server and some of the videos are hosted on another. And for crypto, it seems like one of the servers are not serving the videos. But, right? Yeah, not the swing. Okay. No, but that would be okay. Those ones would be expected to work. So the very first one, for example, what is it? Taking control. That taking control video course. If that's not working, let me know. I made some tweaks last night because crypto gave me feedback like they just weren't playing, but the other ones were playing. And so I went to the server where they're hosted. I made some tweaks, but of course it's the middle of the night. I haven't slept in hours and hours and hours. But I made some changes and it should work. But if it hasn't, then I'll have to do something else. You have the recording of Pomp and Circumcision. Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's why I tell my kids you should make sure you get 2 degrees from Harvard because you never know. You know, every 300 years or so, they cancel one of your commencements, and you don't want to just have one and then get screwed at the end. So is that not working? Can we be clear? Is that one not working? Because if that one's not working, I know where to look. Oh, no worries about it. No worries. Yeah, Leo, you might be pulling Vimeo and Vimeo slower, right? Oh, is that right, Michael? Right on, man. All right, so everyone loves it, but look, I don't know why it looks like YouTube is really slow. I can't. So I still don't know where those are working or not. All right, I need to move on. La di da di da. So here's another risk on move that we had last night. Taking a look here. Bada bing, bada boom. This is euro dollar. Euro dollar. Okay. And we have this as an S2, and this is the weekly target. And we were flatlined here, so we were looking for this last night. And cool. Looks like it's a good start. Okay. Looks like a good start. You had to pick one. This is what we talked about even in yesterday's video. You have to pick one. You're either this or you're this. And it was, right? Bulls buy here and bears sell there. So, and one of the things we talked about is bears need the bulls to buy it so the bears can sell it high. Cool. So, as long as you're one or the other. Now, if you resist me in making the decision, then forget it. You're going to get caught and you're going to pay the penalty. Okay. So, let's go to the yens. So, since we were risk on last night and all we did was set up bullish day trades. Okay. That's all we expected. Oh, well, so let's go back in time. Down, consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. This is the weekly buy zone. Okay. And the target is here. So as far as I'm concerned, the weekly swing trade for Aussie yen is already done. You see that? Let's take a look now at this time frame and see if we had a daily trade that's set up. Sometimes they don't set up. So last night we were talking about the bullish setup for day trading, and this was a squeeze. And I don't know if it was this one or a different one, but on one of these we talked about where ideally it comes down and goes up, okay? I thought it was hard to believe it'd come down this much. And I said, in that scenario, you treat it like it's out of position and you look at trailing moving averages like a 4-hour 21, or, this is a day trade, not a swing trade. So you'd probably use maybe a 1-hour 21. Okay. And the point is the dynamic level of support, it pushes the price up. Oh, thank you, crypto. So it works for everyone. Awesome. Nice to know you're special, crypto. Your mother was right. The prophets of rage. Yeah. Right? Prophets of rage. There's your next YouTube video or channel. The prophets of rage. Why did I say risk on? First of all, I asked the trading group when we met on Sunday. So we met on Sunday. I'm like, so you guys risk on or risk off? 2/3 of the audience said risk off. Now here's the interesting thing. Typically when I ask the question 50-50 is the answer. Half the people say risk on, half the risk off. But for some reason on Sunday, 2/3 said they were definitely risk off. So one way of looking at it is say, well, then you definitely have to be risk on. So it's weird, right? Usually it's split. The other thing is we talked about it on Sunday more than we did last night because I just didn't have much time. But the idea is the market leads the economy. The market leads the economy. When you can buy a stock you think is going to be around 25 years from now, but you can buy it for 60% off, or 65% off, or 70% off, like people are just going to buy it. And that changes things. Or in this case, maybe certain countries get out and all that kind of stuff. To be quite frank, I actually want it to come down one more time. So imagine this is the general market, whatever. I kind of want to see this before that. And all we've gotten so far was a big decline, a big up, and a down, okay? But we have a lot of time to print this bottom. So it was sort of like that. And we did talk about MGM Grand, right? So the last time I looked at it, it was 12. Okay. And it dropped as low as 6, guys. So like if you put $100 million on it last week, you've already made $100 million profit. See how easy it is to make money? So anyways, there's this idea that so one of the things I said last night and the night before, though, is I'm not so sure that it's doing this now. I do want to see a double bottom, but I'm more neutral to bullish, meaning I want it to fall so I can buy the dip. So I'm bearishly bullish, or maybe I'm cautiously bullish, or I want it to go down so I can buy it bull. Okay, does that make sense? I said I don't know if it's going to go up, but I am a buyer. And I'd like to actually talk about this a little bit. Once again, I think the majority of us, if not everyone here, is primarily focused on trading. But have you guys ever watched, like, I don't know, how about Billions? Has anyone watched Billions? I've only seen a few episodes, but I've seen a few of their meetings, and it's quite contrived and stuff. And my wife rolls her eyes and looks at me, and I roll my eyes a little bit. But I kind of like some of it, right? But the idea where they're in the room and Axelrod's yelling at them like, "Oh, you should have held that short squeeze for 5 more points," right? But you see, do you understand? Like, they'll do their research, they'll find some sort of advantage, and they'll make a position, long or short, doesn't matter, but they'll hold it for a week or more like a month or two, right? And you guys are in your trades for 18 minutes. And when you do that, you have no long-term advantage. All you're doing is trying to pick off 20 minutes of price volatility, but there's no real analysis behind that. You're not making a decision. You're not saying, oh, well, such and such company is going to make a bid, so we're going to start secretly buying up shares, and then they're going to make a bid to buy it, and meanwhile we'll corner it, and whatever, right? And I was thinking, like, you should almost have a challenge for yourself where you decide for either the next month or even the next quarter, whether like the yen pairs are going to go up or down or not, right? Like really force yourself into a bias, because that's what a bias is. You know why you're buying a stock? Because you believe it's going to get acquired by a larger firm and they're going to have to pay a premium and drive up the share price. Meanwhile, you bought all the shares low. Okay, you have to have some sort of plan, right? And that's what I mean by a strategic plan, and then tactically enter the trades. But like, this is the idea of, I don't think the market is quite bullish yet, but I'm buying. Do you see the difference? It doesn't make me a bear, but I want it to come down, and there's bearish trades in there. But I know by the end of the year I want to be long, so how do I position it? How do I time it? And that's kind of like what's happening. Sort of last week was flat. So the way I look at it, here's my mind. Down, up, flat. So it's either going to do this or it's going to do this. Okay? And my tactics change, but either way, I'm bullish. But the way I described it is I'm neutrally bullish. Because I'd like to build a portfolio. Okay? So it'd be interesting if you could say, if you opened up a demo account and you only made decisions 3 months out, and see if you can do that. Okay? Versus, my fear is it's all, Fortnite type trading, right? And you lose sight that this is Forex, not Fortnite. So anyways, why? Let's take a look at this. Why would I be risk on? Well, do you see this target we hit last week? That says the end of the road, right? And what about this support? Is this legitimate support? Okay. And then on Sunday, we opened here. Oh, I wanted this to be pink. We opened here. So I said, if you're a bear, here's what's going to happen if you're a bear. It's going to come up, it's going to come down, or it's going to go down and come up and come down. Can anyone confirm this from the live trading group? That if you're a bear, we had either this or this, if you're a bear. And then we talked about, I said, the problem with this is that's a trend trade. You see that problem? Why do we know this is not trending? Okay, so one of the things we've been working on in the live trading group has been calculating stochastics, MACD, and pivot points with our mind. And I've been really, really teaching the math of things like pivot points. So you can look at it, see where we opened on the pivot point and say, oh, that's one standard deviation from the mean. We're not trending. We're range bound. There's a giant range. So I said, you got to be cautious there if you're a bear. And, 2/3 of the people were bears. I'm like, you got to be cautious there because you're not selling a market that looks like this. You're selling a market that looks like this, and you're at the extreme. You're one standard deviation. What does that mean? When price deviates that far, it typically, the standard response is back to the mean. Right? So be careful if you're going to be that way. Maybe you take a day off. Right? Maybe you don't do that one, whatever, right? Just don't be so certain. And then I said, well, what would you do if you were a bull? You would recognize that this is where bears got out. And as a bull, this is your buy zone, right? And you're going to look at this as support, 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 rejection. And then we talked about understanding the other trader's game. And I compared that to board meetings. How to plan and prepare a strategy for managing a board meeting, and compared that to Forex trading. I dropped some Harvard knowledge. Right? So anyways, guess what? And I think it was Maida, at the end of it, she said, well, Wayne, are you risk on or risk off? Because I asked everyone, I'm like, well, okay, I'll show you the bearish one, but, I was very cautionary in all my bearish trade plans. And then I'm like, hey, I'm neutrally bullish. I want to be a buyer. I'm looking to buy. I might not be a buyer now, today, or in this hour, but I'm a buyer. I want to be buying. And that's the trick. That's the trick. Timing of your trades, right? Yeah. So, interesting, right? Interesting. Some of these were easier to see. Like, that's easy to see. That ain't trending. Okay? But some were not as easy to see. And so we had to take all of this in because we want all bearishness or all bullishness, right? Okay? And so then we look at this. Here's a trade plan. And I said, you know, at that time, oops. Okay? You got to kind of keep it below there. There's your plan A, sell off that, which I think was a hard time frame. Anyways, or your plan B is sell it off that. But once it gets high, by that, let me zoom in. Oops. Okay, and let me just reset this. So again, at that time, I'm talking to a room that's 2/3 bears. And I say to the bears, you want a downtrend, right? And you want to sell lower highs, right? We all know that to be a universal truth. Is this a lower high? No. Is this a lower high? No. Kind of tricky to be a bear, right? Can you guys see that? Even on a lousy, no good 5-minute chart, you can see that that's not bearish, right? So you got to wait. But isn't that a sign to say, whoop, 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 pay attention, right? Shields up, red alert. For a bear? So remember, you know what your bias is. So you walk into the charts, you know you want to sell, you open up your charts, and you can confirm market conditions. Does this look like the market opportunity you hoped for selling? Is this what you want? By the way, I'm waiting for you guys to type. It's not rhetorical. Are those the market conditions you hoped for as a bear? So it doesn't mean you're wrong as a bear. It means your timing is wrong. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, now, what if you were a bull? Can I be a bull in market conditions like this? No, Ariel, that's MetaTraders. But yeah, but thank you for the COVID-19 feedback. Yeah. All right, cool. So if you're a bull, this is pretty simple. My point is you shouldn't be switching. You shouldn't be swinging both ways like a broken gate. You should just simply see, as a bear, there's no trade. Not yet. Your timing's off. Okay? Now, how about for bulls? Notice the trend is exactly the same. What would a bull do? Buy and buy. So last night in Asia, that was the buy zone, correct? So you can see, here's what I want you to take away from this. You have a bias, you have a plan. Bulls don't know the future, bears don't know the future. But I've taught you how to trade, so you know what to do. You don't know if it's going to work today, but you know what to do. So a bear logs in and says, oh, not today, and you're done. A bull logs in and says, oh, perfect. So they got to trade. And so since we met last night between my 2 Harvard classes, the opportunity was buy somewhere in here, And now this is, let's call it 133 and some change. I'll put down 133.50 is pretty late. 133 is closer. So we'll say 133, and we're now 134 and a half. So we're up 150. By the way, the day trading group, we went through about, I don't know what, probably 6 trades, and we estimated the potential value of those trades as being 150 pips. Can anyone confirm that? I'm guessing it was 6 trades, but there were many trades. We analyzed it. We looked at the potential entry. We looked at the potential take profit, and they all seem to add up to $1.50, right? 150 pips each. Okay. And so one of the things we talked about is in the standard day trading course, we talk a lot about 33.99 OCOs. And I said, well, in this situation, what you might want to do is a 51.50, right? And cut your lot size to protect your downside risk. See, I don't really care about the upside. I can't control the upside. Does it go up 150 pips? Yeah, maybe. But I can control the downside. So if I'm going to lose 50 pips, I'm really, really wrong if I lose 50 pips on a day trade, right? Like, unthinkable, right? So we'll put a 50 on it, but I don't want to get burned if I am wrong, because I can be wrong. So I don't want this to be a big deal. So I cut my lot size, I make my trade, wake up in the morning, I'm like, yeah, I'm up 150. I thought so. Okay. What do you mean by sessions? You mean market opens? Is that what you mean by a session? Asian session, your London session, New York session? Yeah. Are they independent? Absolutely not. These are day trades. Okay. If you've done FX Bootcamp Live and you're learning, like you're going through a true boot camp, you're getting your butt kicked type boot camp, but you're learning how to trade market opens, which is sort of an elite level of training. That's different. In fact, that is a session trade, which is somewhat independent of a day trade, right? This is a trade that I set up these trades. Typically what we say is in the next 5 hours, not 5 years, in the next 5 hours is kind of the language we use. So I'll give you an example. So we met yesterday and we were way up here. Way up there. Nowhere near the buy zone. Okay? So we like, okay, well, in the next 5 hours, we're going to buy down here. And then the target's going to be up here. And we talk about, look, we only buy low and all this kind of stuff, right? But that's how we work about it, right? It's the trade of the day. You should be embarrassed if you can't make 100 pips on a trade, right? Like you screwed that up. Okay. So we talk about the 33.99. Okay. Now you combine your day trading with your swing trading, suddenly, you jam your stop from negative 33 to negative 3, and then you move your limit from 99, because let's say you're up 77 pips and you're like, oh, well, got that one. Remove the risk, you go, got no risk, and then you're like, okay, where's my weekly swing taking us? And then you see the weekly target's 300 pips away, so you take your 99 and you move it to 333, and now you got a negative 333 swing, and you scalped your way in on a day trade. Okay, there's all kinds of ways to manage it. We can discuss all that in the course. Cool. And like I said, the course is 80% off right now. So wake up or smell the concrete. So we will then meet tonight at 8 p.m. and set up tomorrow's trades. Yay! Now, CAD Yen, check this out. Crazy month, right? There's the entry. What? 6 days ago? We just hit our target. We're done for the week. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Swing trade. Right? Done. So here's last week's bearish target. This is all the bears are going to get out. Double bottom, higher high, higher low, weekly central pivot, M4, done. Maybe it goes a little higher, but maybe it goes as high as here, but who cares, man? Make a decision, right? Right on, Reb. Pachow! Yeah. Okay. Oops. Now, this is why why am I no longer a bear? Well, how about this? Last week, we know that that's where bears leave the market. That's factual. Okay. And we also know this is the exact price for the month of April that a bull would buy if there's going to be a bull. And it just happens to be 75.00. You see how all these things fold together? Wayne, is the WM3 not sell if the 5-minute chart is bullish? Why would you sell in a bullish situation? Okay. So, if you were a bear, you were planning something different. So let's talk about that, because I'm not saying bears are wrong, because everyone has their time. That's what Buddha says, right? Everyone has their time. So a bear did that. What would a bear plan on doing this week? Well, a bear had this as their two plans, right? Plan A and plan B. A and B. So let's talk about plan A or B. Let's talk about plan A or plan B. Okay. How long did this sell plan last? You very quickly got nailed on that one, right? And then what about this one? You see an awesome perfect entry here? No, I could see how you could have tried to get in there. One thing to note, you should be cautious on your plan B when it's a higher high. Okay? You should be cautious on a plan B because, actually this was the plan B here. Sorry, I skipped over that. It wasn't here. This is dead. So your plan B was here, and maybe you sold that, but I don't see a really compelling technical entry. But maybe you took a shot, maybe you used a limit order, and you lost money, and that was that. So there was like very little opportunity at all for CAD yen. Please keep in mind as well, when a bear is looking at this chart, they're not just looking at this chart, they're looking at all yens. CAD yen, Aussie yen, pound yen, euro yen. Okay? And all of these had very mediocre setups at best. Okay? So for example, like I showed you, euro yen was in a range and we're at the bottom of the range. Is that a good opportunity to sell or not? No, no, no. In fact, it's a terrible, terrible place. It's a horrible place. So like if CAD gives you a mediocre setup, you have to say, you know what, let it roll over, man. I'll pick it up in a couple of days. If it's trending down in a couple of days, you see what I mean? Like guys, why do you have to be at the exact top? Don't trade in mediocre scenarios. So like if you're going to be in this all week and all month, like, right, why not let it do this first and take a shot here? Like, what's the big deal, right? Let it make a lower low, lower high, lower low. Let it prove itself to you. I think we even talked about that. Like, who's the boss, the market or you? I'm the boss. Well, then, what do you demand? What are your demands for CAD yen? Well, I need to at least have it kick off a hardcore pivot. Okay? And ideally, a lower low would be smoking hot for the next lower high, right? So wouldn't that be great? You're like, you know what? Here's what I demand, Ken Yed. I demand you kick off that weekly M3 and make a lower low. And if you do, I'll sell the lower high. Hua? Okay. Okay. So anyways, bears should be, or sorry, bulls should be exiting this. If not at, like, look, dude, are they going to get out at 77.80 or 78.20? Who cares, dude? Like, right? They're going to get out at 78, right? As we approach that. So, where do you get out? Well, sooner is better than later, right? And your trade plan's done, and you're done. You take your profit and you move on to the next trade. Probably, like a bear, put it this way. The reason you're getting out here is a bear is waiting for this. Bears want their opportunity. Bears want their time in the sunshine. So you wait. No, I do not recommend hedging. You're a speculator. Okay? You're a hedger if you're South African and you're watching your rand become zero versus the dollar. And this is a big problem for you because you need dollars. So you use the foreign exchange market where you're buying USD rand like crazy to make money in dollars to offset your real losses on your rand. You're making money on the rand to offset the losses of your cash position. That's a hedge, right? You're making money where you're losing money. This is different. Like, why would you hedge something that is not a good trade anymore? You understand? So a proper trade plan, like this is obviously a bottom. Okay, this is obviously a bullish entry, and this is obviously the target. Get out. You're done. Move on. Why hedge? Get out. Now, your argument might be further than that. Okay, Peter? And Peter might say, well, Wayne, what I'm doing is a monthly position trade. And I'll say, okay, well, let's look at that, Pete. All right, so Peter is a buyer down in here. By the way, clearly not a trend anymore. You see that, guys? Clearly not a trend. Without a shadow of a doubt, there's no trend anymore. So maybe down here, a little more bullish than bearish. But anyway, so Pete's buying it at 75. Okay? And Pete's going to target 83. Okay? Exit. And if Pete gets this right, the full Monty is 800 pips. Cool, right? So what do you do here, Pete? Well, hedge it? No. Ultimately, people are just not that good. If you're buying and selling, buying, you're going to forget what the plan is. Okay, so here's what the general plan is. Buying here, there's the target. Next week's going to come down to 77, and then we're going to take it up to 79. And that's all I got right now because bears live there, and I don't know what bears are going to do. Okay? There's going to be some hardcore challenge around this area. Okay? This is where bulls are going to be challenged. So I don't know what's going to go down there, but that's this week and next week. So would I hedge that? No. If you're worried, take your profit now and buy it next week at 77 and take the next 4 days off. Go fishing. Okay. Well, Reb says he only hedges when he's doing covered call options and stuff. Well, that's the thing. You're talking about something outside of the market. Most people are like, do they hedge? All they're saying is, I don't have the guts to get out. Either for profit or for loss, I don't have the guts, so I'm going to do this other thing and I'm going to call it hedging, but it's just failure to make a decision, right? So really what it comes down to is there is no hedging, right? The safest thing in the world is for you to exit here and buy it here. All right? Or move your stop to break even and just say you're in it all month and you do nothing. Okay? Or move your stop to here and say, well, we're not going to drop below the S next week, so I'm going to move my stop from 75 all the way up to 76.50. So you're going to lock in 150 pips and then let it run. Okay? You understand that? Right? Because you know next week's buy zone is currently 77 to 70. It's right now 77. So, you know, you move your stop from here to here. And now you're not only done for the week, you're done for the month. And it's going to do some form of this. Okay? Or it's going to do this and you get locked out and you cry because you only made 150 pips. Right? Cool. Let's do some Bitcoin. Bitty, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your moves just hypnotize me. And I just love your crypto, Wayne. All right. Okay. Oh, we got to be careful here. All right. So, okay. Notice this tracks the risk on, right? So what is a bear thinking? A bear is thinking of selling at 8,000. Really complicated stuff, right? All right, cool. So what's the plan for the week? The plan for the week was buy it at the central pivot points, target 8,000. So the move was 6,500 to 8, 1,500 up. And then most likely, if there's going to be challengers, that's where they live. What I don't know is if it does this or if it does this. Okay? How do I identify support and resistance? There's two ways to identify support and resistance. I think you should sign up for the video training course while it's still almost 80% off. And in the video training courses, you'll learn many times how to identify support and resistance. I personally do it in two ways. I look for support and resistance of the market. I look for support and resistance of price. And then I look for congruency amongst the two. Okay? We also use moving averages, which are a dynamic form, right? A dynamic form of support and resistance. Okay? That's what we talked about earlier, like on one of those early yen trades, where I said, you know, I don't think it's going to come back. So I said you use a 1 hour 21 on a day trade. If it's a swing trade, you use a 4 hour 21. But you kick off the 21 as a dynamic level of support and resistance. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nice. You guys having fun? Is this helpful today? Is it helpful or hurtful? ND, I put a whole chapter in my book about that. Isn't that interesting? Cool. Well, less than half of you have clicked the like button. Right now, about 65% of people are like, yeah, I can't even click the thumbs up button. It's not even worth it. Oh, really? I have to click the like button? Oh, that's too much effort. So that'd be a good opportunity, guys, if this is beneficial. All I'm asking for you to do is click the like button, and that tells YouTube that this is quality content. That's all I'm asking. Just show YouTube you care. There's 200 people watching, 100 likes. I mean, come on. Kick down, come clean, don't be a holdout machine. Yeah, David C. But if you've ever seen the Howard Stern movie that he did, I don't know, 15 years ago, it's pretty funny because the manager of his radio station when he was young wanted to fire him. And the marketing people are like, are you crazy? They're like, people that love him listen for 90 minutes. Typically, people only listen for 20 minutes. And he's like, that's amazing. How can that be true? And they're like, because they don't know what he's going to say next. And then the guy's like, yeah, but I hate him and most people hate him. And he's like, that's true. Most people hate him. But here's the thing. Of the people surveyed that hate him, they listen for more than 90 minutes. Almost 2 hours they listen on average. And he's like, that's ridiculous. Why would people hate him and listen to him on the radio? And they said, number one response, they want to see what he says next. Right? The people that hated him were better for the ratings than the people that loved him. All right. WTI, nothing. Still sitting at 26. Okay. One of the things we were talking about is how to trade this long term without getting crushed on the carrying charge. So we talked about that last night. I don't really want to talk about it again. Bitcoin kind of out there. We already did this one. We already did that one. Rand. And I ran. I ran so far away. All right. So maybe a little bit of reprieve here for Rand, a little bit of a comeback. That's cool. Let's take a look at the exotics. Okay. Lira versus dollar. Well, I wouldn't call that a downtrend. Okay. But that's interesting, huh? But right now, see, we're talking about dynamic levels of support and resistance. This moving average is support. Support and resistance of the market is this pivot point. Support and resistance of price is this role reversal. See? Support. So, someone asked about the support. How do I do support? Well, I do support like this. I do support like this. And then I do support like this. And then I say, well, my plan A looks like this. My plan B looks like this. Okay? Yes, was the start of my last jam. My 98's booming in my trunk with funk. All you punks can't stop my dunk. Yeah, anyways. Peso. Right on time, huh? Well, actually not quite. Here's the Friday move. There's payday. Okay? That's the payday Friday, but how do we explain this? I don't know. It just looks toppish. But one of the things we're looking for is, when will Americans deploy their money abroad? When will they feel confident enough the worst is over? So that's what we're looking for here, guys. I'm not even looking at peso per se. I'm just looking for risk on. If you short this, Ronnie, you get paid. You might be talking about something else, though. Okay. Wayne, have you talked on buying physical gold? I've talked to many clients that want physical gold, but we're talking about tonnage, metric tons of gold. And it's different. It's different, that's all. But I'm not going to expand on that anymore, but it's just a different scenario. It's a different world, too. Okay? Than trading these derivatives and stuff. But it's a different world. There's different things that need to go down. Okay. So there's a couple of things. So there's this trigger here that may make you feel toppish. And then there's the breach of the shorter trend here. On the right shoulder of a double top is pretty interesting. So this might get really good next week. Benjamin, I don't know. I'm not a virologist. I don't think there's a double dip coming in the coronavirus. I think we're going to go into summer and everything's going to be back to normal. South Africa will shut down, but as far as global GDP, South Africa doesn't matter that much. I know we have lots of people here from South Africa, so I'm not saying you don't matter. I'm not saying the people around you don't matter. What I'm saying is, a measure of GDP globally, if South Africa gets shut down for the next 4 months, the world's going to go, eh. If the United States or China gets shut down for 4 months, it's a bigger deal, right? But even like the U.S. stock market went up and up and up as China got shut down and we're crushed with the coronavirus. And the U.S. stock market still went up. And now people are bitching and complaining like, oh, my stock market, my stock portfolio fell and all the money I've lost. I'm like, you didn't lose any money, because if you had the money, you would have cashed out at the top. And it's insane to do nothing when the stock market's going up and the second largest economy in the world, the economy that every supply chain on the planet is locked into, is just shut down, and you're not doing anything about it. And who the hell buys Apple at 27 times earnings? I'm like, dude, those are the people that need to lose money, right? So anyways, so now we recover from that, and then if South Africa goes down and Argentina goes down, and Uruguay goes down, at a macroeconomic level, people won't. It's not noticeable. Now, on a human level, it's horrible. Okay, but on an economic, right? Peccary says, if Boris died. He didn't die, did he? Has he died in the? I know he's in intensive care. So you got to be careful. I tried to sleep at night. I went to bed around midnight and woke up around 6. So I'm not sure if he died last night. But if he died, what happens when there's a shock like that? Right. He's on ventilations. Right. That's what I thought. But intensive care unit is pretty serious, right? So how about this? If he does die, if there's a horrible tragedy like that, we don't know who's going to take over. Pound's going to tank. Okay. Black swan. Look, if we're talking about it about to happen, pure mathematics, it's not really a black swan. Okay, but it's more of an exogenous shock. Okay. So the pound would lose value because we don't know who would take over, and we don't know the policies of that new cabinet, and so on and so forth. So it's just uncertainty, and that's bad for the market. So the pig would lose value, the great British pig. So anyways, let's get back focused on this, because this is kind of where I want to end it. If we do see a sustainable move this way, and this way, and ideally this way, and ideally this way, and this doesn't matter, then it's risk on. Now, it's kind of interesting that 12 hours ago I met with my group and I said, risk on, and this one, but anyways, risk on and risk on, right? Got lucky, I suppose. Ripper! Well, there's 127 likes. If we can get this to 150, I'll do another 15 minutes. If we can't get 150 likes in the next 45 seconds, then I'll call it a day. So if you want me to continue, please like. Everyone that likes might have already liked, and there's no more other likes, and the other 50 people are just saying not interested. But, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, someone posted in the comments yesterday, like, 2,000 people watched and 200 people liked. Like, come on, dude. What did the other 90% do? Okay, we're getting a few trickles here. I've been going for an hour. No, only 138. 137. It's going down now. People are changing from thumbs up to thumbs down, I guess. We have less likes now. Back to 38. 138. I'll let you see what's going on. $141. This stupid 140. Come on. Kick down, come clean. Don't be a holdout machine. It's going down again. About 20 seconds. Come on, guys. If you haven't clicked it, by the way, clicking it twice doesn't do anything. Come on. It's funny. We're back down. 144. Come on now. Can I get a 145? 145, 145, 145, 145, 145, 146. We got 146 over here. 146, 147, 147, 147, 47, 47, 147, 147. We got 147. This is ridiculous. It's worth 150 every day. 146. Can I get a 147? 146, 147, 147, 147, 147, 147. 147. We got a 147. 148. 148. Can we get a one? Going once. 147, 147, 147, 148. We got 148. Going once. Go. Oh, we're at 50. We got a 150. Woo! All right. 15 more minutes. Let's go. Let us be doing now. Help me, auntie. Let's do Swissy. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, I like auctions. All right, so last week, we already did this one. So last week we were sellers and we were targeting 106. And I'm sorry, it only went down to 108. So you only would have made, Let's say 111-ish to here. 300 pips. Yeah, I know, sucks. Lame week, right? All right, so there's the buy zone on that. You should already have your plans and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Let's do the other ones I haven't done because that's dollar. I want to do Swissy. Now, if I remember correctly, some of these Swissies are already hitting our targets. That's all right, Reb. That's why I ask. Yeah, I like auctions. I've owned something like 200 cars in my life. Now, the interesting thing about that, you might say, oh, he's just a high roller Forex trader driving his yellow Lamborghini. And like, well, I've owned one car in 10 years. Yeah, about one car. And actually longer than 10 years now. So, I owned a lot of cars when I was a young man. Anyways. Okay, so let's go with this. None were Toyotas, actually. I've owned one Toyota in my life. All right. Check this out. If you're risk on or risk off, either way, this is going to be a tough one for you. Why? Because we're not trending. The thing about being a risk on, risk off trader is you need a trend. Because if it's neutral, it's not risk on or not risk off, right? You lose either way. Reb says, I just love cars. You know what? I've owned enough cars where I think they all suck. Now, some of them are beautiful to look at, but then when you start playing with them, they're junk. They're all junk. All of them. Every single one. Rolls Royces included, especially Rolls Royces, and especially Lamborghinis. The worst. Have you ever driven down the road in a Lamborghini and you're like, look at me, I'm a high roller? But like the whole car is vibrating and the mirrors are about to fall off. The door handles don't open. You got to open the scissor door and all the hydraulics are shot. Like, dude, cars suck. Right? So anyways, but some of them are pretty to look at. But anyways. So anyways, big neutral here, right? So how do we play this? Well, that's your problem, right? I look at this and it's not trading bullishly and it's not trading bearishly. So this was a bearish setup for show. And maybe you took this, but this is the wrong time of day, but it's tradable. And now no lower low. And now we're up here and it's full stop. Which is very disappointing because it's supposed to be chasing the yen. Oh, Reb, I buy and flip salvage cars. You've been doing that since a kid? That's cool. Now you make your money doing that on YouTube, right? Cool. So how about this? Not bearish. Okay. You see, like some people are asking, like earlier today and earlier in the week, like, am I a bull or a bear? Well, I look at this, I'm like, well, I wouldn't necessarily call that bearish on a 4 hour, right? Like, I get it that it had been falling, but the moving averages don't say down, for example, all that kind of stuff. So, how do you play this? Well, the first way you play it is you go, let's do weekly. Okay, let's do weekly. So last week, we wanted this to come down to 57, and it would go up. Okay, and it came down to 50, pretty gosh darn close anyways. And then on Sunday, we were here. If you were a bull, you bought it. Okay, once again, we meet the first hour of trading of the new week. So for this to work, all you had to have done is been a bull. If you were a bear, you're hem and haw, and if you were a bear, you're thinking, well, it's going to come up a little more, and then I'm going to take it down, and that's what this is all about. And you were very quickly wrong, and you walked away, and you're like, not this week. Okay, it's all right. You're going to lose a little bit of money. Who cares? But when you get it right, you make a lot of money, and that's the whole point. When you're wrong, you lose a little. When you're right, you make a lot. Rinse and repeat that all year. You're going to do fabulous, even if half of your trades are wrong. Imagine if I can get you to, like, let's say on average a 50 pip loss when you're wrong, not unlucky wrong, not bad timing wrong, not like, oh, the news came out, knocked me out. No, that's all nonsense. That's garbage trading. When you're wrong, you're like way wrong. Your plan has completely failed, but that's how you want to be wrong. There is no luck. You had a plan and you carried it out. If you had a plan and lost because of bad luck, it was a bad plan. Okay? So when you're wrong, you want to be really wrong. Okay? And when you're right, you want to be really, really right. Because it's no extra work to be right. It's extra work to add new trades and do new analysis. Okay? So even if you did this and you were wrong half the time, you'd be phenomenally profitable. But we know out of the many, many more times, you're going to get knocked out at -3. So let's say 25% of the time you lose 50 pips. 25% of the time you lose -3. So on average, right, you lose 26 pips. But then every other time you make 333. So your clients are going to look at you like, oh my God, 50% of the time you don't make any money. I'm like, yeah, that's right, 50% of the time I lose money. But on average, that adds up to 26 pips. But the other time, I let my winners run and I kill it. I crush it. I destroy it. I'm ridiculously profitable and I'm wrong half the time. That's where we need to get. So you're like, oh, I sold it here right off the sell pivot. All right, you were wrong. Lost 33. Next. Okay. Okay. So anyways, that's where that went. And you can see this has been happening a little bit. A little bit. In a little while. Sounds like a U2 song, doesn't it? All right. So, early. Here's a trade plan gone wrong. Ready? About what? 12 trading days ago? Last Monday. Not 2 days ago. Way back here. Around the end of March. We had a trade plan. We said, okay, if it's going to be a bear, notice the consolidation. If it's going to be a bear, we would want to sell around 0.59. Right? And look, it popped up to 0.59. Boom. Down. Okay? I know it's hard to see. Let me try. Wait for it. Let me try. Okay? So, what's the second part? It kicked off the pivot. That's plan A. That's your selling price. Plan B is let it drop. Let it come up into this little white zone and sell the Fibonacci retracement to take it down. Okay? I would only play that off that price, and it played it perfectly. It didn't fall as much as I wanted. Okay? It came into my zone. It farted around for about a day and then popped. So what do you lose? -3? What do you lose here? -33? Yeah. You took a shot. You're wrong. Wah, wah, wah. Beautiful trade, man, if you're a bear. So what happened next? Nothing happened next for an entire week. See, I was wrong for 2 hours, and it stayed wrong for a whole week. Nothing happened. Well, this plan failed. MoveOn.com. So what's the net result of this? Sunday, the group gets together, And if you're a bull, you're going to call that a higher low. You're going to call that an M2. And you might take the shot if you call this as support. Now, your initial target might only be here, but your hopeful target is the breach and there. But you're like, well, I'm a bull. I don't mind buying at the bottom, right? I don't mind buying at the bottom. That's all right by me. And especially if the bottom is the M2. And if I do that, my target is going to be up here around 60. And so you bought it at 50 and 58 and a half. And now you're at 160. You picked up your 150 pips. You're done for the week. Forex traders don't cry. Okay? And that's that. Was there any indication it would go up versus would go down? No. This is the whole point where if you're staring at your chart saying, help me, technical analysis, help me, I can't make a decision, I need you to make a decision for me. Well, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to be the one that makes the decision. If you're going to be a professional Forex trader, people are going to pay you for your advice, which means you have to be opinionated. Because if I was hardcore bear and this was a setup, okay, then it has to do this. And if it doesn't, you very quickly know you're wrong and you're out. You're like, bad week. I lost 33 pips on Aussie Swissy this week. Like, that's not a bad week, guys. Negative 33 pips is nothing. If usually you would have 2 or 3 trades on this, right in a week or in a month, you're expecting to make, I don't know, 600-700 pips on this. So if you have a bad week and you lose 33 and you do nothing the rest of the week on this trade because it's bullish and you're a bear, then yeah, you took a shot, the market conditions change, and now you walk. It's a big deal. But when you're right, you're very, very right, and you kill it. Well, someone else came along and said, you know what? They're bullish. So they would look at the market differently. So look at this. Let's do it this way. This is set up for bulls. Bulls bought here. Bulls wanted to buy there. Bulls bought here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Bulls lost money here if they traded that, which is doubtful. Bulls lost money here if they traded that, which is doubtful. So you have to understand, and I communicated this to you. On the way down, bulls did nothing. Bulls did nothing. Bulls did nothing. Bulls did nothing. And this is just their first opportunity all year to get in the game. And now you're flipping. You're like, I was a bear, but now I guess I want to be a bull. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay? It's their turn. They didn't get the opportunity. You were destroying this as a bear. Right? Since January 1, you were destroying this pair. Just unfair advantage. Just completely taking this down. And the poor bulls had nothing to do. And now they get 3 weeks in a row. It's working for them. And now you want to be a bull? Why can't you just wait for your turn to be a bear again? Okay? But if you're a bull, you're finally happy to see the spike. Okay? And now you're taking these game on things. But here's what Elliott Wave would probably tell you. We'll get a 3-wave correction, and then she's going to come back down again. Thank you, Lord Elliott Wave. I'm just not one of these worshipers. Oh, Elliott Wave. Oh, Elliott Wave. Right? Oh, my God. Is this a 3-wave or a C wave? But expect a pullback before another drop. Okay? And what we were talking about yesterday with the trading group is, look, I want this to go up. I want to be a buyer. all that kind of stuff. But I want this to go up between now and the end of the year. So I actually want it to fall in the next month. I'd love for it to fall. No, and I'm not anti-Elliott wave. I just don't count waves. It doesn't fit my personality. Here's Elliott wave in a nutshell, okay? Uses price action, pivot points, and patterns. Do I use those things? Yes. Okay? But do I say things like, well, because this was a 3 pattern, a 3 wave, this has got to be that, and that has to be that, and then there has to be a this, and then a that, and like, no, I don't do things like this is a 1, and this is a 2. Oh my God, does not fit my personality. But if you're an accountant, you're going to love it. Okay? If you're a tax attorney, you're going to love it. If you're an engineer, you're going to love it. Okay? Does Elliott wave works? Everything works. You have to understand. Check this out. I know this sounds facetious, but there's something to this. Is this going down or is this going up? When you perceive using whatever methodology you want, if you say simply, this is down, then all you have to do is sell high. Now, do you use Elliott wave, CCI, pivot points, moving averages, price action? I mean, like they all work, guys. You don't have to worship anything or anyone. So like, what are this? So even GAN, I don't know much about GAN. Let's do this. Oh, that didn't work out. All right, well, I don't know what's going on here, but it works. Everything works. Everything works. If you do it right. Like, that's it. I'm sure all of these were designed in a beautiful way, and it fully makes sense now. You're like, let me zoom in here. Right? Let's do this. I used to use moving averages. I'll be like these, right? But they're so 1980. Is that guy that logged in the other day? You use moving averages? You're stupid. That's so 1980. Yeah, okay, great. Well, wait until you see my Testarossa from 1980. It's nice. Anyways, so I just got rid of my moving averages and I just added that OST or whatever the heck indicator there. Is that radically different than my moving averages? No, it's the same. And then you change it. And like, well, let's do something different. What does this look like? Can you trade with that and make money? Yes. Oh, but, you know, I just can't trade without... Where are some of these? Let's do... Where's CCI on this thing? All right, how about this? Forex Index. Force Index. Oh, there's your CCI. All right, we'll throw down CCI. All right. Oh, thank God, now I can trade profitably. Oh, what was I doing before? This is so much better. Okay? The thing is, it's all the same. But what if you just did something like you made a decision that this is going up, so you bought low, and then you bought low, and then you bought low, and then you're going to buy low. Okay, cool. Look, you make money. I want to draw this the same as those other ones. Okay? The thing that determines your ability to make money as a trader is your decision-making process. The tools are irrelevant. Do you understand? The tool itself is irrelevant. If you want to go from Los Angeles to Chicago and you pull out a map and you plan it all out, if you ride a bicycle, if you take your yellow Gallardo, if you take your Ford F-250 Super Duty, a friend of mine's got one of those Mercedes G-Wagon Squared. It's yellow, so I call it the school bus. So he could take a school bus, you'd take a Greyhound, you'd take a Volkswagen Beetle that's air-cooled. Dude, it doesn't matter if you got the map and you want to go from LA to Chicago, you get on the road, you point it in the right direction, you step on the gas. Now, you might get there faster on different vehicles. Some vehicles will use more fuel than others. All this kind of, like, each vehicle is different. But if you say, Wayne, your RSI is stupid, I'm going to use CCI instead, by all means. Right? Oscillators oscillate. But if you don't know how to drive, then it's irrelevant what car I give you. Yeah, Reb, it's an, what, 800,000 euro G-Wagon? But you understand though, guys? Like, pick a car, any car. Do you know how to drive? No. Then you're gonna wind up in the ditch. You're gonna wind up dead. But if you know how to trade, like any car, okay? Can you get out of a Gallardo, walk up to, let's say a Toyota Camry, and get the rest of the way in the Camry? Can you? Yeah, you can drive that. Do you see what I mean? You know how to drive. You can go from RSI to CCI. You can go from RSI to MACD. You're like, oh, that's cool, right on. And then you're like, you know what, let's just get rid of oscillators. You can still drive. The Testarossa, do you guys know much about the Testarossa? The Testarossa, I wouldn't even call a sports car, to be frank. A Testarossa is actually very easy to drive and actually quite comfortable. It's more of a fast cruiser. So, you know, like the Mercedes, what is it, the CL? No, sorry, the SL. The Mercedes SL. So let's say you got yourself a Mercedes SL 500 Cabriolet. It's not a sports car. You can get in that thing and drive down Highway 1 all the way from San Francisco to Santa Barbara, stopping for dinner in Carmel, okay, in your SL 500 Cabriolet, okay? You're not going to want to do that in your Murcielago, okay? So there's a difference, right? A Testarossa is closer to the Mercedes SL, which is interesting, right? They're actually quite comfortable. They're actually quite easy to drive. They're sporty, just like the SL. Yeah, well, that's just how they are. If you get, they're 12 cylinders, guys, but they're only like 380 horsepower or something. Okay. When you're in your Murcielago, the seats suck, right? You're like, oh my God, I can't even drive this Mercy. Lord have mercy, right? You get in a Testarossa and you're like, those are actually kind of nice. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, I can actually see behind me, right? You notice when you get in like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, you're like, I can't see anything. Like, I can't see behind me. Like, you look in the mirror and I see there's a window, but I can't see through the window. And the mirrors are like, What the hell? I can't see anything in this damn car. You get in a Testarossa, remember how they got those mirrors that are like a meter out off the side? You're like, oh, I can actually see behind me. And then you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, I can see people driving behind me. Right? You're like, this is awesome. So your Testarossa, just think of it as a road cruiser that gets a lot of eyeballs, right? So anyways, all right, gotta go. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the comments. Every day you guys leave very heartfelt comments. I read them every day, and I very much appreciate your kindness and your generosity. I will see you if you're in my live trading group. I will see you tonight at 8 p.m. to plan tomorrow's trades Tonight, we're going to plan tomorrow's trades. And if you're interested in the 76.4% discount off every training video ever made at FX Bootcamp, the link to the secret site is below. And the coupon code needed is like printed right on the page. So there's a link in the description below. Click that. And that's that. So you'll have... It says 35 hours, but I think it's actually a lot more than 35 hours. I wouldn't be shocked if it's 45 hours of training videos. So that's what I'm doing to help you guys through your COVID-19 isolation. You're not alone. I'm here with you. Although you're far away, I am here to stay. Copyright Michael Jackson. All right. Thank you, Mohammed.